Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. In Nigeria today, the common man suffers all the things ill you can think of, social menaces you can think of. Most times our political elite feel is one of the common man disease. Insecurity, insurgent is a common man disease in Nigeria. An average Nigerian suffers that. But when it drives home and when you see them begin to react and begin to call for policies and laws, is when it begins to drive home. When it begins to have a closer touch, when they begin to feel the pains the common man feel, that's when you begin to see them react. As already the governors have now joined their voices and they have actually joined their voices and also joining the list of Nigerians bemoaning the security situation in the country. They have planned a meeting with the President Muhammadu Buhari and the service chief to discuss this worrisome and rapidly degenerating situation, simply because it is now affecting them bit by bit. He's coming home. The state healthmen conveyed their feelings in a letter to their counterpart, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum, whose convoy last week came under attack between Baga and Monguno in his state while on a trip. The attackers are suspected to be fighters of the insurgent group Boko Haram. Zulum accused the military of sabotage. He criticized troops for not showing enough commitment to the fight against the insurgents. The governor threatened to mobilize hunters and members of the Civilian Joint Task Force, as CJTF, to battle the Boko Haram should the troops fail to perform after some time. In the letter to Zulum, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi, described what happened to Zulum as one unwarranted attack too many. He is now too many because it's now concerning the governors. Let's continue. He said, which epitomizes our collective vulnerability and the fragility of the country's security architecture. It is coming home. The letter added, although you emerged unscratched from this incident, we note with regret the injuries sustained by two members of the CJTF and a police officer attached to your convoy, and do accordingly pray for their quick and rapid recovery. Mr. Governor, forum members are solidly and resolutely behind you in your effort to rid Borno State of these dastardly and wicked agents of evil. Okay, on our part, subcommittee on security will be meeting tomorrow, and rising from the resolutions thereof, we will soon dialogue with Mr. President and the nation's security chiefs to discuss the worrisome and rapidly degenerating situation. On a final note, Mr. Governor, we thank God for you for always being merciful over your life. Fayemi doubled as the chairman of the security subcommittee of the NGF, that's Nigerian Governors Forum. There have been calls for rejuvenation of the national security architecture from many quarters. A lot of others have also called for the removal of service chiefs who are believed to be worried to enable new ideas to take root. At the weekend, Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari, whose state is also under the siege of bandits who are operating in the northwest, said his state is still under policed. According to him, there's an average of 30 policemen deployed for 100 villages. And yet we have police officers going up and down in some states that are not even really needed, carrying POS and obtaining an average. Just yesterday, at about 4-5 Nigerian time, 3-2-3-4 Nigerian time, they shot a youth in Delta State. They went on rampage. They went on protest, peaceful protest, simply because one of their colleagues was the Nigerian term obtained. You know, they used POS to collect Roger, quote unquote Roger bribe. We call it bribe, but the normal English is Roger. Instead of using the normal 100-200 naira money they usually give, this is now there is a law. It is now a right anyway in Nigeria. It's a right now. Instead of using the usual way, now it is now POS obtaining of the Roger. So as soon as the young man got down to the Polytechnic in Delta State thereabout, he conveyed the information. The youth were like, it's getting rampant. No more. If we allow this now to now become a norm, just the way Roger is a norm, let's stop this POS carrying policemen and say we don't want them no more. That was how it was. Some said it was SARS, I don't know, but I wasn't there at the time of this whole thing. But in the event of them coming out to protest, peaceful protest, they shot the young man. Peaceful protest. If the guy even uploaded his face on Facebook, FB, saying they're going on peaceful protest, they will have to stop this whole issue of. Within 15 minutes of him updating that, people started updating that young man is dead. They shot him. We don't use rubber bullets. This whole thing, you're understaffed with 30 policemen in 100 villages. Carry the ones that are here, rogering up and push them there. Why are we doing like this? You see some of them, like roadblocks from southeast, from Lagos to southeast alone, that route towards, there are so much. Move them to where they're needed, northwest. Northwest, northeast, north centre. Push them there, not center, not east. Push them over there, let them get useful. It's because they're not useful. That's why they have time to begin to carry POS to be rogering people. And now, you see what we are saying? It is coming home. Now the governors are agitating. They're now thinking that this issue of insecurity is getting too much because a fellow governor was attacked. They keep talking, paying lip services to the pains of the common man. It is in Nigeria that the electorate do not have power. No. Let's stop deceiving ourselves in this country. We don't have power. Electorate, we don't have power. That power has been removed from our hands long time ago. The power belongs to the politicians. You did not hear what Oshomole said. Adams Oshobaba said. He said, look, the winner of any election in Nigeria is the highest rigor, the best rigor takes the day, which means you and I in Nigeria, our vote do not count. We just carry the card for card's sake to fulfill democracy tenets. But the real democracy is not being practiced, because if not, the electorate should be able to have the power to call forth, to impeach, ask for impeachment, demand the representative to do the needful. In Nigeria, have we ever impeached anybody before? We've never gone on protest and demand that our non-performing politicians to resign. It's not possible. It's not doable. How? In this country? How? It's not done. We wear democracy as cloth. We really do not practice the true democracy. No, you have seen it. Our governors are beginning to see that thing they were playing on, that it is a poor man's mentality, a poor man's social menace, is beginning to rise to also the political elite menace. When you keep quiet, there's this general saying those days, they will say, "Aluta continua Victoria, as it is injustice to one, is injustice to all." The struggle continues. If you keep quiet about why you see them rallying around Governor Zulum, with due respect to him, Governor Zulum, one of the performing governors, at least he has the people's mandate in his heart from the north. I give it to him. But the reason why they are beginning to react now is simply because if these guys have the balls to do this to a sitting governor, it's just a matter of time. So they need to curb it now. And they're now rising. Why shouldn't they have risen before now? When this whole thing started, why didn't they raise their voice and say, look, you can't keep using the same team if they're not performing. It's either they change the tactics or you change the players. So if our service chiefs are not performing, it's either they adopt new ideas, or like or you totally change them, like the rep is demanding. Okay, somebody said something very unique. That Zolam said something very unique. He said there's sabotage. If the architecture, you have looked through the architecture, things are not performing well, then that means there's something wrong within. In fact, Zolam practically said that this whole thing happened simply because there's a sabotage within, and that was why they were able to have an intel of his movement. Whether we like it or yes, that's the bitter truth. You can't keeping quiet over the masses issue and say it doesn't concern me. One day it will concern you. See now, it has hit a governor, and they have started reacting. Then they now want to gather themselves as executives and speak to the president over this insecurity. Look, this insecurity we are playing with. Look at the youths. There are no jobs. There are no jobs anywhere. The ones, the empower that are available, some of them are complaining that they have not been paid. If this continues, kidnapping is now a normal thing in some places, some quarters of the state, in some areas of Nigeria, whereby even the securities are almost tired of the situation because it's increasing. You are talking about maybe one kidnap story or one kidnap case as at 2015. Now it could be a case of in a week you can get like 15 kidnap cases. Which one will you lead? Which one will you leave? Which one, before you know it, some are even killed along the way. And yet the ransom being paid. Because there are no jobs, there are menaces, there are social vices that is involved with poverty, abject poverty, and lack of job. We have growing enabling youth. We have a growing active youth, but there are no job to engage them. There's this general saying that an idle man is the devil's workshop. Because if you don't have anything to do, when the devil will give you something to do. Now, if our active youth are not getting engaged, and it's our very old youth, I'm talking about those above 50, 60, 70, are the one actively in positions where the youth should be, what do you expect? You're going to see social vices, and it's coming up. Because these youth ought to be engaged, actively engaged, but they are not. Instead, it is the elderly people that are taking the position of the youth and getting actively engaged, taking the country backward. That is where we're going to wrap it up. What's your take on the fact that at last our governors are rising up to the occasion simply because the problem is coming home gradually? Let's interact in our comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.